Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Shut Door. Door Shutter coming back to episode 25 of Direwolf20's 1.18 mod pack. And real quick, so I've made the resonant integral components. 72,000 is the max that we can achieve here, which isn't really the greatest, especially because it got way more expensive towards the end of its crafting. But honestly, that's fine. That'll work. Um, I think that it is definitely cheaper than the mechanism alternative. You don't get as much RF, but it is, you know, to that level of RF. So what we're going to do is we're going to say on the very top, we want to input. Okay. We'll need some energy cables of some sort. I have Elite on me. I think that should work. We'll just say, hey, throw this there, that there. This should work, okay? And then at the very bottom here, we're going to throw the flux point. Actually, we can just throw it under the ground. That's fine. It should have got absorbed into one of these bad boys. There's nothing else in these other ones. So we'll just throw this down here. We'll put on the bottom that we want to output. Okay. And then we'll fill in this bottom portion. But that is completing the witch farm, right? We should have enough storage, to pull, and quite a bit of RF, because you see that we already have 300,000 in there. So we should be good. I'm going to go turn this thing on here. Let's unshrink. Okay. And I don't have the demagnetization coil thing yet. I really do need to get that. So that is the witch farm. If there's any more problems, any more upgrades that are needed, I'll get the demagnetization coil thing. But I won't really be down there right now because I'm just going to let it run. But yeah, that's the witch farm. We should have quite a bit of redstone coming in. You can see that it's adding. Like, look at that. Maybe. There it goes. So we're getting quite a bit of redstone because that just went up. Yep, keeps going up. Like, and it's going up blocks. It's not going up like redstone wise. Like, look at that, 340. In a second here, we'll hit 341, and just yeah, it is going. That is for sure. Glowstone as well. We're at 562. Let's see. This is 4 per, so I mean that's not too high. Oh, that just jumped about 10 in a few seconds. So yeah, we are definitely cruising here. Also, spider eyes. I do need to get spiders of some sort, something that provides string, because that's of course another material that we can use. But I think in this episode we're going to get into refined storage. But of course, because we need to get into refined storage, we do need more power. So I will be crafting for, let's see, I have 8 of these, the advanced machine frames. I will make 8 supreme machine frames, and I will make them into this. So we'll have 9 total nether star generators. Okay, 9 of those, and that's 36,000 RF a tick. Okay, which isn't that much, right? So we will have that issue of, hey, we probably do need more. But I think for now that should be enough to run a refined storage system. We also have, of course, the turbines. We have the solar panels, which add about 1,000 or so more RF, and stuff like that. We also do need to get something else set up, which is the auto turning on and off of the wither machine. Because yeah, you can see that we're at 1.6k of skulls. So I'm gonna go turn this back on, and we will, of course, be needing to generate some more power. So let me get the nether star generators. I'm going to, keep an eye on this witch farm as well. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in a second once I get those 9, hook them all up. Alrighty, so I have not done the nether star generators, and there's one specific reason.
Because the more I look at our base, the more I realize we need to do some minor things before we can take the major step we need to get to refined storage. Okay? So, first things first, let's get some tanks. So, I don't even know if we really need a tank, for say. I think we might need, either a Tesseract or some Ender tanks. Because we need to start transferring fluids, left and right, okay? So let's actually first grab a flux point, because I'm going to do some stuff with, what do you call it? With removing the Tesseract at the Ether generation farm. I'm going to remove the Tesseract that's over there, but we're also going to grab some Ender tanks, okay? So we need blaze rods, we need obsidian, and we need, what else do we need here? Iron for buckets. Okay, so we have some iron here, so let's make about 4 buckets, right? So these 4 buckets are then going to be converted into any color. We'll just do white for now, so let's grab 4 pieces of white wool, not 5, 4, okay, and we're just going to grab some ender tanks. Alright, so basic ender tanks, we need ender pearls. We'll just grab 4 of those real quick. Alright, so what are we going to do with these ender tanks? Well, first, let's color coordinate them. What colors do we have? We have blue. That'll work for one set. Actually, we can just do it for both sets. So we'll set down 1, 2, 1, 2, and we'll say the first set here is top line blue, shift right click here, then middle line blue, shift right click there, and we can then quickly upgrade these bad boys. I'm just going to grab a few stacks of ender pearls. I'm not going to waste eyes of ender. Shift right click with this. They will take more ender pearls to do this rather than using eyes of ender. 100%, I don't really mind. I have infinite supply of ender pearls, so we're not too bothered by that. And I don't know why Carry On keeps activating. I can never get the thing to activate unless I really don't want it to, but that's fine. Okay, so we have 2 sets of tanks, right? And the first set of tanks, we're going to go into the void dimension here. And I actually forgot to turn this back on. I was going to a minute ago, but I completely forgot. And then we're going to activate basically fluid transfer here, okay? So we'll take out the Tesseract. We will then put this flux point down, throw it to our power system, and we'll make sure that everything's disabled here. And then we're going to put a tank on the top of this, so we'll still be able to activate it. We will then push to the very top, which is, pumping in here, right? Which is good. This is what we want. We want to be able to have the fluid accessible throughout our base, right? So now we have this ender tank. Awesome. Okay. We can use this for the dissolution chamber. We can push and pull fluids and all of that jazz. All right. So now what's the other tank for? Well, the other tank, we actually do need one more set, but since we don't have another latex processing area set up, we're not going to do that. But for now, what we will do is come over to here and we will place, oh nope, the other direction, we will place this here, okay? And of course this will not pull without a pipe, which is 100% understandable. We're just going to circumvent that a little bit here. Where is my cobblestone? Let's see if this will work like I remember it being. It won't be fast transfer of fluids, but it should be fine. It is not working. Let's try and flip this around. There we go. So basically, if you do not know, this has a 250 millibucket pump. Okay, that's what this is doing. And the reason I had to place it on this block is because the actual very top, and I can show you this here, the very top of this has a hole, and that is what's basically using the pump. So if we actually kind of try and place this, we have a redstone block for a second here. So if we place this where I can show you the bottom of this, they basically look the same, but the difference, you can see this band right here. So if I actually activate this, that band lights up. They basically, have this indicator here saying, hey, I'm pulling anything that I can. So if I were to put a, for example, if I had a tank here and I wanted to pull you know, from this tank here, it would pull from this tank, push to this tank. You can actually use it this way. I would show you, but I don't actually have any tanks. I do have a spotlight on this mod, by the way, to give you a little bit more information. But I believe what we need to actually increase the pulling of this is actually pistons. I'm not 100% sure on that. It has been a minute since I've actually looked at the mod, but we can actually try this real quick. So if I quickly just, you know, make a piston, I think I'm missing cobblestone, and I think I'm missing some planks by themselves. Let's not throw it on the ground here. Let's grab some planks. Let's grab, I think, 4 pistons, I believe is the amount I would need. We also need redstone. Just toss that in there. Okay, we'll grab 5. I could always use pistons, so it's not like it matters if I waste some. Alright, and we just shift right click with this, and you can see that the millibuckets is going up. So now 4 is the max, 4,000 millibuckets per pump, and that is awesome. Okay, and of course this is 256,000. We have quite a bit in here, and I'm pretty sure we could actually do some comparator stuff with this. I'm not sure if that's actually a thing, but if it isn't, we could always find some way to activate this when it's empty. Activate the entire farm, which would be a pretty cool thing. But yeah, so that's solved. So now we have a pink slime and a aether tank. So the reason I wanted these is because this will actually allow for us to get a little bit more production whenever it comes to the dissolution chamber, right? Because, you know, switching fluids left and right and all of that is very annoying, okay? So now we won't have to worry about that. And I also can make more dissolution chambers according to the fluids, because we only have really 3 basic fluids we use. We use latex, we use pink slime, and we use the aether gas. So if I make 3 dissolution chambers, I should be able to basically have these set up to where I throw it in there, the fluid's injected already, we don't need to worry about it, okay? But, of course, the one thing we need to worry about now is another latex place, right? Because we want to generate latex. We basically want this set up here without this stuff, because we do still need plastic sheets. Plastic sheets is very, very important to the entire industrial foregoing ecosystem, basically. It is the base crafting material for the mod. So we need to set up some kind of tree farm to get this going, right? So let's focus on that. So we're kind of building up, right, to refine storage. Right now, this is kind of the base of it. We won't be crafting the controller. We won't be doing any of that, most likely this episode. But there's some things that we just need to take care of so we can actually get this going. And especially since the power system is reliant on industrial foregoings, Nether Star Generator, that's kind of what we're going to have to sacrifice some time towards that end goal. Alrighty. So, let's see. We want a tree farm, okay? We could do this with Create. We could do this with a few other mods. But I think Industrial Foregoings, Harvester, and Sower will be the best thing for us. There is it, the Harvester. What is it called? Industrial Foregoing. We could actually grab the book on this, by the way. Let's do that. I never really use the book for Industrial Foregoing. It's something I always know is there, but I never use it. So let's see. Do I have any blank books in here? I do. We do have a piece of redstone. Now we need it as a piece of dirt. There we go. All right. Let's look at this. So basics, fluid extractor, latex processing, all of this stuff. Awesome. So this is our basic, you know, round trip. We got the plant gatherer, which is basically what we would need for trees, right? Okay, so we've got that. There's the plant sower. What is this? By providing very small amounts of ether gas, crops will grow much faster and they will be replanted automatically. That's interesting. That's something that I don't think I've seen in here before. The mycelial reactor, by the way, is one of the better power sources, but you do need to detect all other, or the other mycelial generators and generate masses of power. So basically, if you guys don't know, extra utilities, I believe it was extra utilities 2 added a whole bunch of generators, and basically there was like one end all be all generator, but you had to have every other generator running all at once to power that other generator. And this is kind of what Industrial Foregoing had. Or the mycelial reactor is the end all be all. So we need the plant sower. Okay. And the plant harvester, whatever it's called, gatherer. Okay. So gatherer and sower. So we'll mark that, and then we'll get the sower, and we'll get that. Basically, crafting is pretty simple with these two. I'm going to get these real quick off camera, and we will place them down. I'm going to also get some add-ons, not probably too big of add-ons, because I'm going to place it actually over here. I might do acacia saplings, probably just stick with oak. It's probably easier. And we're just going to power this off of our main power system. Now, we're not going to do some sustaining system as of current. When I build a bigger farm, which I will be doing in the future, I will probably do that. But for now, we just need some sort of small area to do that. And we may be even supplying it with aether gas to do the hydroponic bed. We might do that, but of course you need fertilizer, which is sewage. And sewage isn't hard to get, by the way. It's just, it would take some more time. So, it's plant sower, plant gatherer. Let me get those and I'll be back. Alrighty, so today I am just the master of getting sidetracked. So, real quick, I am getting these drawers up to 3 upgrades inside of them. The reason being is because we're currently full on redstone. We got full on coal, which caused an entity spike. And that's what's happening here as well, because we are almost full on redstone here. So, what I need to do is get more of the gold, okay, upgrades. But I don't have that much copper remaining. And one of the things that I could use is some sort of copper generation. I could set up a drowned soul cage, right? Which I will probably do this. I will probably set up a drowned soul, harvesting thing here. And the reason being, of course, is because if you don't know, drowned have a chance of dropping copper. And copper, I mean, it wouldn't be that much, right? The biggest thing, though, is you got to remember is that these mob mashers have, 10 plus looting. So I'm wondering if we captured a drown, we filled a soul gem, would that result in an ever-living ton of copper, or would it be a waste of time? Okay, so I'm kind of thinking, what other mobs do we need to get more resources? Okay, so wither skeletons give us necrotic bones. Necrotic bones can be converted into bones. Not a big deal. We have bones covered. We have the zombified piglin farm, which is the one I'm standing on, which gives us rotten flesh, which can be converted into rotten leather, which rotten leather equals leather. And then we have, which farm is this one? The Enderman farm, so ender pearls. We have way too many ender pearls. This isn't really going to be turned on for a long while. And then we have, what is this one? This is the sheep area, right? So we could probably convert this into a mob masher sooner or later because we don't need that much pink slime. But we'll probably keep it. And then, of course, this is the latest and greatest one, which is witches, which is sugar, redstone, gunpowder, and glowstone. So we've got quite a few mob farms. I think the next one I want to work on is drowned and zombie. Because if the drowned one works and we get enough copper out of it, I want to see the possibility of getting an iron farm with zombies. We'll just void the rotten flesh and we'll keep the iron, the carrots and potatoes, okay? Stuff like that. So I just wanted to hop on here, tell you guys some of the future plans, because resource generation,
I want to try to keep it as much mob focused as we can. I know we need to do this. Which one is it? The slime one sooner or later, because of course that's going to be a big one. But we will have to modify the slime farm to be different compared to the other ones, of course, because the fact that slimes probably won't fit in that 3x3 area. So things like that. So just kind of, bringing you guys into the loop, what I'm thinking of mobs. I will probably capture a drowned in a mob imprisonment tool, probably capture a ghast, probably capture a few creatures that would be a little bit harder to kill. I know guardians would be a good one for prismarine. I believe they drop prismarine crystals and stuff and shards. I'm not 100% sure on their actual full drop list. But yeah, just wanted to hop in there because I'm actually just doing some cleanup here. All of these are oak drawers now. Getting some upgrades because we do keep running into the issue of overflow of items. So just wanted to, update. And also, side note, this is actually important because we will be using refined storage as storage bus, external storage things to pull items, push items into these drawers. That scared me. But yeah, we will be pushing and pulling from these. So I'm not going to throw all this stuff into a drawer. They're going to, or into a storage disk. They're going to stay in the drawers. So just keep that in mind. It's not me wasting time. It's actually me thinking future refined storage, good stuff. Okay. Alrighty. So I know I've been bouncing around this episode, but I bounced again. Quickly, I am enchanting my armor a little bit more. So my helmet has a whole lot of enchants. There's so many that it's kind of going off the screen. But if I put it up here, you can see I have Respiration 3, Air Affinity, Protection 4, Insight, Soulbound, Unbreaking, Mending. I'm currently throwing on Respiration, which is the one I just did. And I want to throw on Aqua Infinity so I can actually mine underground. Of course, this will take a second because this is not really the fastest, especially because I don't have any upgrades on the fluid transfer over in the other world. But once this hits full, this should enchant. If you don't know what I'm actually using, it's the enchantment applicator. It's the thing I've had here for quite a while. It's not that expensive once you get a little bit more into industrial forgoing. But basically, it just allows for you to enchant stuff whenever you, oh, come on. They're not going to do it. Can I not have, Aqua Infinity? That would suck. That's okay. If I can't, I can't. Let's see. I want to throw this other thing on my boots with it, which is Depth Strider. Okay, cool. Worst case scenario, I don't have the ability to mine better underwater. Okay, but let's actually go over the enchants I have in my armor, because that's not because I've had people ask, "Oh, I missed whenever you did this." I did this off camera. The reason is because I was just grabbing them from villagers, trying to throw them onto the armor, and it was never like all in one segment. I do it very occasionally, like during that time, and that took hours, so I wasn't recording then. But you've got all of these. Mending, Unbreaking, Soulbound, Insight, Protection, Air Affinity, Respiration. Air Affinity is just awesome, by the way, because Creative Flight. Basically, when you're flying, you can mine everything normally. Because there is a penalty when in Creative Flight, mining speed is slower. So, Chestplate, Mending, Unbreaking, Soulbound, Vitality, which is the one that gives me the extra hearts, Reach, and Projectile Protection. Then we have Mending, Unbreaking, Soulbound, Fire Protection. I really could figure out some more stuff to put on this one, honestly, because there's not a whole lot on my leggings. But yeah, there is tons and tons of enchants, right? That's the biggest thing. And I don't think there's any really, like, legging-specific enchants. Thorns. Thorns is something I haven't put on anything. Which is fine, I guess. Thorns isn't the best. Yeah, there's only like 5 things of enchants. So you really don't have a whole lot of options for legging. So there's, Mending, Unbreaking, Soulbound, Fire Protection. That's all I've got. And of course, Mending, Unbreaking, Soulbound, Feather Falling, Blast Protection, and Depth Strider. That's my entire armor. Coming to my sword, I have mending, soul breaking, or soul bound, not soul breaking, soul bound, soul stealer, unbreaking, looting, leech, and sharpness 5, which is what I just put on there. And the reason I was actually making the enchantment applicator, by the way, was to put sharpness 5 on my sword, not anything on my helmet. But then I was like, oh, put stuff on the helmet. Um, so yeah, just kind of wanted to go over those. I do want to get sweeping edge, and the biggest reason I wanted these is because it takes forever to kill things with this sword, um, especially trying to fill up a soul gem to 1,000+ kills, right? So I want to get sweeping edge. I only have sweeping edge 2. I'm going to fly over to the village, see if I actually have a sweeping edge villager, and go from there. Alrighty, so after a little while, we have made an expansion onto the first mob farm. So we have the next mob farm up and going, which is the drowned mob farm. And the biggest reason I made the drowned mob farm is because copper. Copper is important, and drowned are basically the only creatures that drop copper. Well, not basically, they are. And so you can see that if we look here, we are slowly but surely getting copper piece by piece, right? And sometimes, we'll jump up a block of copper or two. So we will have copper production, right? See, there we go, jumped up a block. You can see it's going up some ingots here. So we aren't, not getting copper. Basically, the only other thing we're getting is water shards, zombie flesh, and nautilus shells, which aren't really that useful. So everything else, tridents, all of that is being voided, as I already do have a trident that I picked up quite a while ago. I just don't ever use it, and I actually don't even know where it is anymore. Who knows, I might have voided it. But I also got a shiny zombie arm that dropped. Not 100% sure what that really is. I couldn't find any references to it or anything, so that's cool. But yeah, so copper's taken care of. I need to now quickly get this going. I wish we had something that dropped nether quartz. I don't think there's anything in this game that would actually give us nether quartz generation. We might have to start, mining quartz sooner or later, because we definitely are coming to not have a whole lot of quartz, right? So I also want to mention my netherite backpack stuff's not stacking because I pulled the upgrades out, because I've lost a ton of stuff because my game decided to start freaking out. And whenever I sorted something, it did the shift sort, which deleted a whole bunch of items. So I lost a whole bunch of stuff and kind of been trying to recover from that a little bit. These actually should not be in here. They should be in here. But yeah, the shift sort thing is still an issue, which is fine. But yeah, I'm going to get all the upgrades on these drawers here, and we'll get started a little bit with the power generation and all of that jazz. Well, I've gone a bit mad. For the past few hours, I've been working on kind of coming up with a house for a reason. We won't get into the reason why I'm building this. This isn't going to be my base or anything. But I'm building designs in the actual mining world because it is flat. Of course, I don't want these to be on a flat surface. We will be moving this into the overworld using the copy and paste gadget. But I'm currently just kind of experimenting. And I think this is a decent design. It's not the greatest, right? It's very light colors. There's flowers and stuff missing out of the flower pots. Things like that. There's no interior. I want to work on the interior, but for now we're working on the exterior of this house. I know I was talking about refined storage. This whole project, this whole thing, will happen after refined storage. But right now, I've been getting sidetracked left and right. Okay, so let me talk for a second before I continue. I have no idea what I'm doing. Remember, these episodes are basically, hey, this sounds like a good idea. I'm coming up with it on the fly. That's 100% how these episodes go. They aren't scripted. They aren't, I know what I'm doing 100% of the episode. That's why sometimes I'm like, I'll be right back because I have to figure out what I need to do. In this episode, I've kind of been bouncing everywhere. 1 minute, I'm working on power generation. The next, I'm working on a house. Um, it's odd, very odd, and I don't understand what really I'm doing at all. Besides, yeah, making a very kind of simplistic house that will be used for a thing in the future. But yeah, for now, we are. This is kind of the finalized thing. There's probably some more details and stuff that I could add. Um, but for now, I think this is decent. In the interior, I don't know if I really showed you. It does have some detail with like the roof, and there's like a giant wooden strut going across, and then of course the beams up here, and then beams where the actual house, bends inwards and all that. But yeah, this is going to be something. We're actually going to be using a few mods to kind of fill in the inside, add a kitchen, add a bedroom, which I don't 100% know how we'd add a bedroom to this. Probably have like a little bedroom area over here, and then maybe the kitchen over here with something here in the middle. Not 100% sure, but yeah. Alrighty. So let's talk about power generation, because I've done it. I've actually done it a long while ago. It's been probably about 3 or 4 hours ago. But yeah, this is what I've come up with. Using Laser IO, I have made 20 Nether Star generators, Nether Star mycelial generators, and a whole bunch of laser nodes. Each one of these you can see has the item and the energy upgrades. And then over here, we have moved everything to basically be powered from this ultimate energy cube by this laser node that is outputting energy. Of course, this is also pulling nether stars out of here to power every single one of these generators. Every single generator only has one nether star. Buy it, and I'm holding off for a second because it's about to explode. And then, of course, the Tesseract is still being powered from this cube. The Flux Plug is being powered. The laser node is, of course, the output source and all of that jazz. Of course, we still have to worry about the essence, but I haven't worried about that just quite yet. We do need to make some sort of fluid tank. Mechanisms is probably a good option. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very sorry that I bounced around so much this episode. I really don't usually bounce around this much, but there's so many things that we need to accomplish. And real quick, I want to go over some of them before we end the episode. So first things first, refined storage is our priority. That is the basic priority. That's why I've been doing a lot of this stuff. Finalizing our storage drawers, making sure they're, up to par with this, which most of these are storing. Like here, you got 2.1 million blocks of netherite. And then of course you've got this 18 million. I'm not 100% sure why there's a difference between these two, by the way. No idea. Maybe it is something to do with like nugget capacity. It might be, because you can see that this is different. And then if you look here, it's different. Not 100% sure. Look at the copper. Yeah. The copper doesn't have a nugget, so I'm guessing the nugget is actually taking away some of the capacity. But 2.1 million, we will not reach that capacity ever. If we do, I don't know how I will accomplish it, honestly. But that's taken care of. That's one of the biggest things with refined storage, is we want to be able to import, export out of the system so we don't fill our disks with items that we already have in these drawers, okay? And that's the same thing with over here. But of course, all of these drawers have void upgrades, except for the skulls, because of course we don't want to void the skulls. Skulls are important. So if we get too many of these items, of course it'll push into this drawer. I don't 100% know how functional storage is with refined storage. I have no idea, because I've never used functional storage until this playthrough. So that is going to be also a learning experience, right? So that's the first thing. We've also set up ender tanks this episode, which are going to be used for auto crafting, industrial foregoings, machine frames, add-ons, and all of that different stuff. Of course, I will need to make 2 or 3 of these to actually allow that. So we have pink slime, ether gas, and latex. Latex is coming whenever we get a tree farm, which I have not set up because but I did make the plant sower and gatherer, so we do have that stuff to actually make the tree farm. We do have the range upgrades, or we might have the range upgrades They might have got deleted whenever I did the shift click thing, because they were in here, I'm pretty sure. So we might have to make those again. No big problem. I'll do it again. After we make the tree farm, we then need to come over here, make a whole new fluid extractor setup with full upgrades. We will be putting full upgrades in these sooner or later. And then we also need to figure out ore production. Because the simple setup I have over here, well, let's just say a fortune pickaxe can fill this chest pretty quickly. And I have a lot of ore still to go. So we need to figure out this, because this isn't fast by any means. I have put a reinforced integral components in here, but it is still slow as can be. So there is a list of stuff that we need to crack down on and get done. So that is why I've been jumping around. It's, oh, I think of one thing and then I think of another and another. I need to slow down 100%. But we do have quite a few things taken care of this episode. We've got the copper farm, which is, pretty decent with the drowned. We do probably want to get some sort of iron farm with zombies. Of course, that's another thing to add to the list. But next episode, we will be doing the tree farm first thing. And maybe we'll get refined storage going. Because I know I kept saying, hey, we're going to get refined storage going. We're going to do it. And then we didn't. Sorry about that. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I have so much planned in the future, and with those buildings, well, that's gonna be an adventure all in itself. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!